Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Hillbilly Think Tank with Spencer Keck here in Tunnel Hills, Hardin County, Elizabethtown, Kentucky. I am running for Hardin County's magistrate in 3rd District. Love to have your vote. Well, let me tell you why. Now, tonight, I asked my wife, what should I talk about? She said, what's going on? I said, well, I've been out all day at the gun range and other things, so I'm not quite positive. She's like, well, why don't you do that? Just talk about something positive. I'm like, okay. So, you know what? I'm absolutely positive that Donald Trump wants to go kill our sons in order for us to forget about and ignore what he and Epstein did to our daughters. What do you think? All right. Yes, I am plagiarizing that from an acquaintance of mine. Hopefully, that acquaintance won't mind too bad. But we need to release those unredacted Epstein files. On another note of positivity, we know that, hey, they're in Louisville, Jefferson County, just elected to District 37, Democrat Gary Clements. He is a union leader, and he's also an Army veteran. Cannot beat that. And he won by a landslide, 47-5. So good things are happening. Change are coming. Well, that change that's coming means no more mistreating the daughters of America, the daughters of Kentucky, because you're rich and think you can get away with it. Yeah, we're going to get those unredacted files. We sure are. And we're also, thanks to this election, we are starting to head down the path of caring for labor here in Kentucky. Care for the working man who rolls up his sleeves every day, does something, gets dirty. The real America. We are it. So, hey, Jacob Laston, see you there. What's up? Well, what's up is the Epstein files are slowly being released. They're supposed to, we're at that point. It's supposed to all been released. And what do we get? 200 pages of just black ink. Everything's wiped out, redacted. Can't see who's in it, who they're writing about. Still getting more photos showing some salacious crap. Some of it's nothing. But, yeah, okay. John, if John Doe says that there is nothing in the Epstein files, okay. If you believe that, then what was all the hoopla all this time? Why is it all redacted if there's nothing in there? Come on, you got to be smarter than that. J Ward sounds, not a single name. Well, not a name that they want to show us, right? We already saw today that the acting assistant deputy there in the DOJ said they were going to take out any conservative names and only leave in liberal names. I'll tell you what, I don't care if you're conservative, liberal, moderate, doesn't matter. If you did something with Epstein to these young women, out of there. You need to be in the can. Doesn't matter who you are, how big your name is. You've got to go to jail. That's just what it is. All right, Renee Jones, you said, I don't know, I just joined. Well, we're sitting here talking about positivity. Today's supposed to be a day of positivity. So I am positive that Donald Trump wants to go kill our sons down south in order for us to ignore the Epstein files. 20 years investigation, says John Doe. Nothing in there. Retard? I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, you call me a retard. Okay. 20 years of investigation? Yeah, no, they definitely have evidence and they know it. There would still be a Prince Andrew of England. But the King of England knows that his brother did things that are highly illegal and international crimes, and he did them with Epstein. And he's not the only one. So, yeah. But all right, Renee Jones, I feel you. We don't have to like politics, but we do like the idea of electing folks like Louisville just did that are veterans. He's an Army veteran that just got elected, and he's also a union man. So, as we said, he rolls up his sleeves to work. That is Gary Clemens, just elected overwhelmingly there in Louisville. So the tide's turning, guys. Hey, Stacy Bell. Hi. Good to see you there. Tides are turning, and we are going to make a change in this nation. We're going to hold the rich responsible, right? No more getting off scot-free once you're preying on young women, any women, but especially kids. You're preying on kids, you have got to go to jail. That's just all there is to it. Doesn't matter what political party you're part of, you got to go. So now, more positivity. Hey, it is the season to be jolly, right? So, what else is there to be happy about? Well, we can be happy about that since those 1,600 people have been told here in Hardin County that they're going to be laid off. Our governor is working to make sure that they can be employed within 45 minutes of that plant that is being shut down in Hardin County. So, all right, that's a note of positivity. I'm also very positive about the fact that now that Gary Clemens has been elected, that's the same district that I actually teach in. So I'm happy and positive that my students are going to see good results, that we're going to actually have a leader in there that understands that teachers, like all the folks that I teach with every day, they actually care. They're in it for the heart of the matter, which is we want to see kids succeed as adults. And how can you do that? You got to start off with your foundation in public school being great, having folks who surround you with positivity and with caring about their future. And we do. That is why I'm so happy that what I get to do in JCPS every day, Jefferson County Public Schools, actually help. And I want to be able to bring that type of positivity here to this county. Right? I want to be able to see the teachers here get their pay raised up to the same that it is in Jefferson County. That's why I'm running. All right. Well, Renee, I was homeschooled from the 7th grade all the way to the 12th grade. So I appreciate you say sorry, but I'm homeschooled, not public school. Right? It is what it is. The reason that I went and decided to do a whole career switch back in 2021 was I saw during COVID what happened when my kids were homeschooled during the COVID outbreak. And I'm like, man, I've got to go make a career switch and become a public school teacher because I know that the foundations, making sure you really have strong math knowledge, that those foundations in elementary school, middle school, high school, they got to be strong. If you lose any point along the way, you lose those fundamentals, then you're going to struggle for the rest of your life. I know that I was good at reading. So by the time I started being homeschooled in the 7th grade, my extremely strong reading skills helped me to teach myself anything that had to do with English language arts or history, social studies. But because I didn't have a strong math background and homeschooling didn't help me with that because My mom didn't know how to teach math, but not algebra, not trig. I never got trig. I had to try to teach myself algebra. That didn't work. So, you know, that I had a lot of catching up to do. And the career that I wanted to go into, medicine, and I did in the Navy for over 20 years, I really needed more of a background. I had to, on my own, as an adult, go off and pay for or get in the military and get them to help me pay for and receive math training that I didn't get when I was homeschooled. So I do believe in a strong public education. Now, this is a country of freedom. So parent says, hey, I can teach my kids science. I can teach my kids math. I can teach them how to read and write with full understanding and knowledge. Hey, that's your choice, right? But I want to make sure that everyone has opportunities that I missed out on. Right? I had to really do a lot of catching up when I got out there on my own. Now, did I still make a good career in the Navy? Yeah, I sure did. But I want to make sure that no one has to struggle the same way I did. And we're all going to struggle in life, but we shouldn't be set up to have to struggle in adulthood on things that we should have surpassed in childhood. So Renee says, we're almost exactly the same, but if I'm eighth grade pre-algebra and I'm struggling with that, but English and language arts and history is fine. Yep. And that's how it was for me. So, right now I'm an English language arts teacher. I'm certified to teach social studies, and I'm also certified to teach health sciences. I could have taken the test, the praxis, to see if I could have qualified to be a math teacher, but you know what? I know where my strength is, and that just yeah. But I really think that no one should be set up to have to struggle in those areas. So once again, that's why I made the career switch. I have not had as much camaraderie as I have teaching JCPS. I haven't had this much camaraderie since I was in the military, because we're in the trenches, just like I was in the military. We're in the trenches trying to pull these kids up and out of some really tough situations. We got a lot of kids that are going through trauma in their life, going through extreme poverty. And it's not their fault, but I'm doing everything I can to help them stay motivated and to keep on soaking up anything that I can pass down as far as knowledge and as far as strategies for getting more knowledge constantly in their lives. So that's my life right now. And I believe that since we have elected Clemens, we're going to have another voice for us, regular working folks, there in Frankfort. He's going to be that voice in Frankfort for us coming, he's representing Jefferson County. We've got great candidates, including myself, here in Hardin County to put us first, not the rich. So start looking out. You're going to see soon more of the magistrate candidates that I'm running with for the other districts here in Hardin County. They'll be on the shows with me. You see every Sunday, I'm on here with William Compton. He's running for Guthrie's seat. He wants to actually bring back an emphasis on regular Kentuckians that roll up their sleeves every day and they're not trust fund babies, right? Most of us aren't trust fund babies. So, yeah, trust fund babies, you got things that need to be taken care of politically, but there's more of us that don't have the trust funds than do. But we work our tail off every day for our families, and we want to make sure we have the same rights to, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness unimpeded Just because we're not making the big bucks doesn't mean that someone needs to hold us back from those three things that are so important to be an American. So, what are my views on the trans agenda? I think that agendas are agendas, right? My agenda is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for everyone. That's the only agenda I'm worried about. So, to me, there is no trans agenda. There's just an agenda of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? Does that say that I'm going to be able to guarantee your happiness? No, but I will guarantee that the government is not going to keep you from pursuing happiness in any way that you see fit, right? So if your happiness relies on being a legal, law abiding, working citizen, I don't care what else there is going on, right? Our agendas are all the same: life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, being able to live where we want, worship where we want, or if we don't want to worship, that's your deal. You don't have to, right? But so the only agenda I think that we should have is making sure that our U.S. Constitution and its inalienable rights, as laid forth in Articles 1 through 10 of our Constitution, right? Our Bill of Rights need to stay sacrosanct, top. That's it. Your freedom of speech should not be punched down at all the time. Your ability to peacefully assemble and redress your grievances, that means speak out for what you think is wrong, that shouldn't be stopped, right? Your ability to take part in whatever Second Amendment rights you feel comfortable with, that's your right, right? The ability not to incriminate yourself, Fifth Amendment, that's your right. The right not to have to give someone to put troops in your house and say that, oh, you have to let them stay in your house with your family and eat your food. We shouldn't stop that. We should keep on having our rights not to have to quarter troops in our house like the British used to try to force us to do. So, yeah. So, all right. Renee says the only agenda I believe in is straight happiness, praying, and living. Cool. I'm not sure what, yeah. Well, that's your agenda. That's awesome. And happiness, praying, living. Again, that's back to the First Amendment. So why would anyone not believe in the First Amendment? I'm not sure. But I know I believe in it. I know that everyone that is running with me to be a magistrate, they believe in it. William Compton, he believes in it. So, yeah, those are the people that right now we're just focusing on Americans being able to afford to live in this county, in this district, in this state. We're positive about that, and everyone else should be too. We should be positive that we can be secure as we're living, as we're enjoying life, as we're struggling to make ends meet. We should be secure. We should know that, so that's what I believe. All righty. So Kicker07, you're the one who asked what my views were on the trans agenda. So I just answered that. Let's see if I missed any other questions here. I don't think so far. Well, y'all, hope you're enjoying your night and hope you have a great weekend, great holiday time. And I hope everyone is enjoying what's going on so far in their lives. And hopefully nothing in the government is holding you back from that, right? Because it's not supposed to. Our government's supposed to represent us and work for us. So, all right, I got one more comment here and then we'll, head out. Also, happy 12/15 from North Carolina. All right. Well, hey, I was stationed there twice. Um, lived down in Camp Lejeune and really loved it. We had a good time there on that base. So, anywho, y'all have a great evening. Remember, we are our neighbors' best friends. No, we love our neighbors as ourselves. We are brother's keeper. We're sister's keeper. Have Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. God bless our corazon.